Hello, this is Jake Fruth, Diagnostics Sales Representative for Maxcrpro Tools. In this video, I'll help you better understand what we have to offer in diagnostics. So the Maxcrpro here, we've plugged into this 14 Dodge Ram. And I'm going to go into help show you a little about this scanner that most people don't know. We have the DLC location information, and that will show you where the DLC is located in the car if you're not aware. There's also a DTC library, so I can type in here a code and it will give me the definition of that code. The P0 codes are all OBD2. If I put in a manufacturer's code, it will tell me that it's a manufacturer's code, and I then look up the manufacturer for what their definition was. OBD2 codes, the P0 codes, all have the same definition. You can go into abbreviations, and if you're not sure what a particular abbreviation means, you can come in and you see here that this is for a map sensor. Gives you the general reading and what it's used for. There's tool information and about OBD, whether it's what is OBD, OBD2 modes, vehicle coverage. So the modes will give you a breakdown of what each mode in OBD2 does. The vehicle coverage will explain the years that are impacted by this coverage. Settings, of course, you can pick your language. It does have a few language options in it. You can change your unit of measurement, whether or not it beeps at you, and there's a record mode. Now if we go to System Scan, we then pick the manufacturer. The more times you pick the manufacturer, it'll sort it up to the top. Otherwise, it's in alphabetical order. So we can go into diagnose. If the capability to reset the oil lamp is here, that maintenance reset is here. If the brake reset is in here for this vehicle, you can do it here. If there's a steering angle reset, which there is for this truck, you can do it here. If it had a diesel particulate regen, that reset is here. Bleeding procedures and injector coatings. If we hit diagnose, it'll tell us what version software we're using. And the updates are free on this with purchase. You update them through the website. We'll do a system scan, and I can either manually select or do an automatic selection. It's identified ECM, TCM, ABS, and now the occupant restraint. So if we go into the engine, I have my ECU information. And this is important for determining what software level I'm using in the computer. If there's a technical service bulletin or a diagnostic procedure that relates to the software level in this vehicle, any software notices above the last two letters AK, like if the software needs to be an AM or an AO or an AP, this would be a clear indication to me for that diagnostic procedure that this computer needs to be updated, flashed. Now, if my diagnostic procedure and or TSB says you have to be over a D, I could clearly see here that this computer has already been flashed past that software level, and that's not my problem. Again, read trouble codes, clear your trouble codes, and data stream. All in these modules that you can access through here. And these are the main four modules that you're going to access with the Maxcrpro. If we go into diagnosis, there is OBD, scanning of the whole system, and TPMS settings for relearn. You still need a TPMS tool to perform TPMS functions, but the instructions are in here. So as we go in, it'll identify the specific software that this particular car is using, and then give you that breakdown. From there, you can read codes, erase codes. I Am Readiness is a really good menu that not a lot of people use. If we go into since DTCs were cleared, we can see where the readiness of all of the monitors that the car uses to test itself stand. This is important for state inspection locations, but also a way for you to determine if you are dealing with a misfire code, you've made a repair, you have test driven the vehicle, misfire monitor says it's okay, and our engine light is off, we have fixed the problem. So that's a really important tool to use in all of your scanners. If we were looking for information for this drive cycle, we would select that. In data stream, we can select numerous different, we can go to view items, and you can see all the OBD2 information running simultaneously, and the right arrow button will change your screen page. If I want to select particular items, of course I go in here and I can OK the page, hit the right arrow. I can OK just one item, again right arrow. And then when I've done that, I push what looks like the backup button, but the screen tells me it's for pulling that information up. And then I have it there to view. And again, pushing the right arrow takes me from screen to screen. To come out of this, I do push the backup button. And if I want to look at graph items, it will actually graph the information for me, whether I select the entire page or I select just an individual PID. Freeze frame data is information that is saved when a code is set. This can help you recreate the problem and or just understand what led to the code setting. If the vehicle has built-in sensor tests, you can do that procedure here. The onboard monitoring is your modes. So if I come in here, I have my catalyst monitors, my evap monitors, sensor heat. On my next page, fuel system, bank 1 and 2, and misfire cylinders. The misfire tests are not built in here like the Maximus Light, Flex, and 3, where you can do power balance, but that doesn't negate the mode 6 capabilities. So I can go into each cylinder and I can see that the status for cylinder 1 passed. So I can go cylinder to cylinder and see, do I have a misfire event in any cylinder? And there are many more onboard tests here to go through, from your evap, your sensor simulators, catalyst, and so on. If the vehicle has a built-in evap system test, you would access it here, and then any vehicle information like the part number of the software in the vehicle. And that's important for like updates and such. If we go back to the reset screen, go to steering angle reset, it'll take us into an instruction screen. So it tells us to turn the ignition on. It is. Now it's going to read the vehicle information and ask us to wait. From here, I can do a manual select or an automatic. It's communicating. And here it's going to need to do an ABS initialization. Now here it has activated the ABS module, which is making the light show happen on the dash. It's then going to give us instructions on what to do to complete the procedure. I don't need to complete this procedure, so I'm going to back out. And once you back out, the vehicle will calm down. Again, the TPMS, these are just the instructions for performing a TPMS reset. Some of the rotations can be done without a tool. Your programming will always require a TPMS tool, but the instructions are included here in the tool so you understand what's needed. Pushing the arrow to the right changes my page so I don't have to scroll all the way down. 2009 had 2 different frequencies, so that's important to know for that year model. And then here it'll give me step-by-step instructions on what's needed to perform this service for the sensors in this truck. The rotation is pretty simple for this one, and it'll relearn its locations with just a little bit of driving. Again, if you are clearing a TPMS light and or you're programming a sensor, you still need a TPMS tool. For clearing the code, you would need a professional scanner or the module cable included, purchased separately with a TPMS tool. There's 4 other main buttons here. If we hit DTC from the main screen, it will quickly find the modules that could have dealer trouble codes in them, and you can quickly check to see, and here we have no codes. If you're needing to do a reset, hit ER, and then that would take you to the emissions related data to clear and reset, which would reset all the monitors. And then IM would take you to the IM readiness page so you can see the readiness monitors since the codes were cleared last and or just this drive cycle. This drive cycle is good for making sure that you accurately repaired a vehicle. The monitor comes up and the light stays off. You're good. Review in the top corner is where I can replay information that's been saved. So I can review dealer trouble codes, data that I've saved, freeze frame that I've saved. From here I can also clear data. Clear dealer trouble codes, data streams, freeze frame, and I could even upload a record to the tool. Thank you for watching and buying Maxcrpro tools. Have a great week.